Hello. Today I'm going to talk about the cell cycle, mitosis and meiosis. I will talk about the purpose, the uses, and each step. So here we go. So how does this become this? The cell cycle. What is the cell cycle? Process of cell growth and division. In all multicellular organisms, you need the cell cycle to form our organs, tissues, and gametes. There is a period of cell growth and DNA replication before cell division, and this is known as interphase. Then we either have mitosis or meiosis. Mitosis produces genetically identical daughter cells. Meiosis produces genetically different daughter cells. So here is the cell cycle. We have G1, gap 1, where the cell grows and makes new organelles, more cytoplasm. Then there is a DNA checkpoint controlled by a cyclin. There's a special molecule that regulates the cell cycle. The cyclin will then check to see if the cell is healthy. If so, the cell will go into S phase, where it will replicate its DNA. Human cell has 46 chromosomes, 2 sets of 23. We refer to this as diploid or 2N. In S phase, we'll replicate all these chromosomes. So we will become 4N. So 46 chromosomes will become 92. Normally, you have 2 copies of each chromosome, 1 from each parent. Now we will have 4. Each copy will be a sister chromatid. So, for example, the chromosome 1 from your mother will become 2 chromosome 1s, joined at the centromere. These are known as sister chromatids. The same will happen with your father's chromosome 1s. Then, at the end of S phase, there's another checkpoint that's going to be gone through, another cycling, to check the DNA replicated successfully. There'll be another gap where the cell will grow a little bit more and make all the necessary proteins for either mitosis or meiosis. There are several checkpoints in interphase, basically, to make sure the DNA in the cell is healthy. If it's not healthy, the cell will be forced to go into apoptosis, meaning it will commit suicide, it will die. And then we have either mitosis or meiosis, at the end of which there is cytokinesis, where the cell will split. So mitosis. Each parent cell produces 2 genetically identical daughter cells. Meiosis, the other type of cell division, produces the gametes, sex cells that pass DNA to the offspring, so the eggs and the sperm. Mitosis is needed for growth and repairing damaged tissues. Some plants and fungi reproduce asexually without sex, using mitosis. In plants, we call this vegetative reproduction. In animals, we usually call it budding. So new organisms are genetically identical to the parent. Now, mitosis is a continuous process, but we divide it for ease into 4 stages: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Here is prophase. So here we have a simplified cell. We can see that we have the nucleus with the nuclear membrane and the chromosomes within it. And we have 2 centrioles with spindle fibers extending from them. In prophase, the chromosomes condense, they get shorter and fatter, the nuclear membrane breaks apart, the centrioles migrate to opposite ends of the cell, and they extend spindle fibers. Then we have metaphase. In metaphase, we now have centrioles at opposite poles of the cell. The spindle fibers are attached to the centromeres between the sister chromatids, and they line these chromatids up at the equator of the cell. Then we have anaphase. The spindle fibers contract, separating the sister chromatids and pulling 2 N chromosomes to each pole of the cell. Then telophase. 2 new nuclear membranes form around 2 N chromosomes at each pole of the cell, and the chromosomes will decondense. You will then get a cleavage furrow forming in the middle of the cell, which will result in the cell pinching in half, which is known as cytokinesis. You will now have two genetically identical daughter cells. Now, some organisms use this method not just to create new cells as part of a multicellular organism, growth and repair, but some organisms use it to reproduce. So yeast, which are a type of fungi, they can reproduce by budding. You can see an image of that here. These buds will grow and separate, and basically, by mitosis, you have reproduced the cell. Here is a small animal that lives in ponds called a hydra. This is the parent. The bud will grow from the side and pinch off. So reproducing by mitosis. And here we have vegetative reproduction, which is what occurs in plants. The tree in the middle is the parent of the other trees. They will grow sideways from it. This is known as vegetative reproduction, but it is basically mitosis. Cancer is uncontrolled mitosis. Mitosis is very tightly controlled in multicellular organisms, only occurring when there is a need for new cells or for growth. If, however, cells divide by mitosis uncontrollably in an unregulated way, that is cancer. So that's mitosis. Now let's talk about meiosis. We produce the eggs and the sperm, the gametes. Meiosis. These cells are the gametes, the egg and the sperm. They are not to scale. The egg is much, much larger than a sperm. Males produce sperm from puberty until the rest of their life. Eggs are all produced by a female when she's still an embryo. So she's born with every egg she will ever have. About 2 to 3 million. By puberty, there will be about 300 to 400,000 left in a sort of suspended animation state. And they will mature and be released one at a time from puberty to menopause. Meiosis is a process of cell division that produces the gametes, the sex cells, the eggs and the sperm. The gametes fuse together during fertilization to produce the offspring. This is a karyotype. These are the pairs of chromosomes for an individual lined up. This is a male because he has an X and a Y chromosome. If it was an X and an X, two X's, would be a female. Occasionally you have additional chromosomes known as trisomies. For example, trisomy 21, having 3 chromosome 21s, that is Down syndrome. And I'll explain how that arises later. So cells are diploid to start with. Each cell contains 2 of each chromosome, 1 from each parent, written as 2n. Cells formed by meiosis are haploid, only 1 copy of each chromosome, written as n. Without meiosis, if gametes were made by mitosis, you would get double the number of chromosomes when gametes fused. Meiosis results in genetic variation because gametes contain different numbers of chromosomes from the parents. So an egg and a sperm contain just 23 chromosomes, just one set of chromosomes. When they fuse together, you go back to 46. Reproduction can either be asexual or sexual. In asexual reproduction, the only genetic variation in the offspring is produced by random mutation. This means that individuals pretty much are clones of each other. This makes them very vulnerable to things like disease. Although the benefit of asexual reproduction is that it's much faster. In sexual reproduction, all offspring are genetically different from each other. This is achieved by both parents producing gametes which fuse to form a zygote. So haploid equals eukaryotic cell or organism having only one set of chromosomes, denoted by n. Diploid, 2 sets, written as 2n. Gametes are therefore haploid cells which fuse to form the diploid zygote, and then the embryo. Meiosis is the cell division that produces haploid gametes from diploid parent cells. It involves 2 separate cell divisions, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. In the interphase, before meiosis 1, the DNA replicates so that each chromosome consists of 2 identical sister chromatids joined at the centromere. The cell therefore contains 4 copies of each chromosome at this point. Each division contains 4 phases: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Here are sister chromatids joined at the centromere. Prophase 1 is arguably the most important stage of meiosis. So meiosis 1, prophase 1. In meiosis 1, homologous chromosomes, that means all the chromosome 1s, all the chromosome 2s, all the chromosome 3s, will line up. And when they line up, they will bind. So here, for example, let's say that these two pink chromatids are sister chromatid ones from the mother. The blue ones, sister chromatid ones from the father. They line up, and where they bind, they form chiasmata. Chiasmata. They're then going to swap sections of their DNA, which is going to account for genetic variation. This is known as homologous recombination or crossing over. And this will happen for every chromosome number. So to summarize what's happening, the chromatids twist around each other and bits swap over. This is known as independent assortment, producing recombinant chromosomes with new combinations of material and paternal DNA. This is important for genetic variation. So as we go through the rest of meiosis, one cell will divide to become 2 and divide again to become 4. 4 haploid cells, so 4 eggs in a female, 4 sperms in a male. Each one will only have one copy of each chromosome, but a unique variant made from the original chromosomes recombining. So there will be different combinations of alleles in these offspring, well, in these gametes. The rest of prophase 1 is just like mitosis. The chromosomes condense, the nuclear membranes break apart, the centrioles move to opposite poles of the cell, producing spindle fibers. Here are the multiple chiasmata. A chromosome could have 1,000 genes. So when they line up and swap pieces, as you can see, they're swapping very large pieces. That means 2 genes that are very close together on a chromosome will likely be swapped together. This is why certain traits tend to pass down families together. Like the shape of a chin and the shape of a nose, for example. Metaphase 1. The chromosomes are lined up by the spindle fibers at the equator of the cell. Anaphase 1. The chromosomes are pulled apart to opposite poles of the cell, sister chromatids together, as the spindle fibers shorten. Telophase 1. New nuclear membranes form with 2 end chromosomes at each end, but unique chromosomes. You then go straight to meiosis 2, which occurs in a plane at right angles to meiosis 1. Prophase 2. First, the centrioles need to replicate because you only have one in each cell and move to opposite poles of the cell. New spindle fibers form, the chromosomes condense, the nuclear membranes break apart. Metaphase 2. The spindle fibers line up the chromosomes in each equator of each cell. Anaphase 2. Spindle fibers contract and just one set of chromosomes will be pulled to each pole of each cell. Telophase 2. New nuclear membranes form. You now have 4 cells. Each is haploid with just one set of chromosomes. Each is unique. In a male, each one will remodel to become spermatozoa. And in a female, we will get a formation of eggs. Now, I mentioned Down syndrome. That can occur in anaphase 2 due to a spindle fiber snapping. Basically, non-disjunction is the proper term. If that happens, you can end up with 2 copies of one chromosome in one pole of a cell, which means that when you form the gametes, one of those cells will have an extra chromosome. For example, 2 chromosome 21s instead of just 1. And when then that gamete fuses with the other gamete, that means it will get 3 chromosome 21s, which is Down syndrome. Okay, so that was an overview of the cell cycle. I hope that was useful. Let's now stop the session for now. I hope you've learned quite a bit about the cell cycle. Bye for now.